Hello, welcome to Current News. I'm your host, Chris Davis, and today we're going to talk about what's going on in Afghanistan. So you've all already heard the news that the Taliban has taken over Afghanistan. People have been horrified about what's been going on um, in there right now. We've seen all the images from the news organizations, whoever you're watching. We've seen the images of the people trying to grab on to the plane going down the runway. We've seen people like pleading for help and stuff, and this has become a huge international crisis. Like, the United States is being criticized by allies around the world for pulling out of Afghanistan. So, for you, just to put some context so you guys understand, the reason why the Taliban was able to overtake Afghanistan after 20 years of keeping them out was because the U.S. withdrawed from Afghanistan. President Biden said that his hands were tied, and also he wanted to get out. So when he says his hands was tied, he means that President Trump, the president before him, made a deal with the Taliban saying that they would be out by May 1st. But when Biden came in there, he still wanted to leave, so he gave them some time in August. And President Biden was questioned by the media that if the U.S. pulls out, will the Taliban take over? And Biden said no. Afghanistan has a competent military. The either the same size or even bigger than the ones who their military is either of the same size or bigger than some NATO allies. He says that won't happen at all because they're smarter than the Taliban. Um, but as soon as we pulled out, like in 11 days, the Taliban had retaken over Afghanistan. There's images of them in the president's chamber. The president of Afghanistan, he fled to another country, and now people are fearful that now that the Taliban has taken over Afghanistan, that things are going to revert back to the way they were 20 years ago, where women weren't allowed to be in school or have jobs or have rights, and there will be a dictatorship there instead of a democracy. Um, President Biden said that um, the images that we're seeing in Afghanistan are bad, they're terrible, they're horrific, but he wanted to pull out of Afghanistan because President Biden wanted to pull out of Afghanistan because we spent 20 years there, and he said our original mission was getting Osama bin Laden, removing Al Qaeda. He said we did that, so it's time for us to leave. And he said that there was never a good time to leave out of Afghanistan, that no matter when we left, what we're seeing now would happen anyway. And he didn't feel that it was right to send more troops to fight the Taliban for another decade, and him to pass on the responsibility to another president. And people have criticized him, saying that, yeah, it's a good idea for us to leave Afghanistan, but it's all about how we do it. And President Biden didn't do it the best way possible. Reports have shown that his advisors told him if he pulled out like this, that the Taliban would take over Afghanistan. And critics have said that Joe Biden has overruled his military advisors and did what he thought was best anyway, and this is the result. The Taliban has taken over Afghanistan, and now we have a huge humanitarian crisis because we still have some American citizens there. We still have some people who aided us against the fight against the Taliban and against Osama bin Laden. And people are deeply concerned that if the Taliban finds any American or finds anyone who helped any Americans that, like translators and stuff, they could lose their lives. And so the situation we're in now is that people who are in Afghanistan, they're not able to get to a secure airport to get out of the country. Our plan, and as crazy as it is, we're relying on the Taliban to give back our people. Yes, we are trusting our enemy to give like our own citizens back to us, which is ridiculous. Like, you can't trust the Taliban, and they've been going up in the press saying that we're more modern stuff. That's just show. As soon as the cameras are off, they're going to go back to what they were before. But we are trying to get American citizens and people who helped American allies, people who have helped American military, translators and stuff. We are trying to get them out of that country, and it's nearly impossible to do so because they have to go through the Taliban checkpoint, and who knows, like, if you show your American passport or you say you're American or you're affiliated with American, what the Taliban's going to do to you. And people have been saying, look, there is a deal that the Taliban will let you go because they want Americans to leave, but that's a huge stretch. Yeah, they want Americans to go, but you're actually going to trust the Taliban that when you show them your passport, show that you're with America and you're leaving the country, that they're not going to kill you like right on the spot. I'm sorry, but that's the dilemma, the situation we're in now. We've lost 20 years of work that we did in Afghanistan. The weapons that we left behind for the Afghan military, the Taliban has those weapons now. We can't get our own citizens and the people who helped us out. We have to trust the Taliban to do so. That's ridiculous. And President Biden, he's held at least 2 press conferences. One where he doubled down and said, the buck stops with me. Ending this war because I'm not sending any more American citizens to fight in Afghanistan. We're not the world police. And then he held another press conference saying that Americans aren't having trouble getting out of Afghanistan, but that doesn't line up to what we're seeing in the reporting, where people are having a difficult time getting out of Afghanistan, American citizens and American allies. So this is the situation we're in. It's a huge mess, and we're going to continue to cover the story to see any more developments and stuff, but this is really, as everyone said, this is on Joe Biden. It's on his watch. It's on Joe Biden. It is on him because he shouldn't have followed Donald Trump's plan anyway, and he had all the advisors telling him that this was a bad idea. So if he had to send more troops and tell the Taliban, no, we're not leaving by May or by August or anytime soon, if he had to send more troops, okay, you're going to have to send more troops. You may not like it, but this is the best choice you have out of the options you've got. He just pulled everyone out, and they had taken back the country, and it looks like a loss, and like the Taliban has won, like they defeated America, and that's what our allies around the world are saying. So just want to give you guys my thoughts on it and on the story. So that's all we have for today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Do you believe that this is Joe Biden's fault, or is it Trump's fault for making the deal with the Taliban in the first place? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, if you liked what I had to share, please hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with all your friends, and all of you have a great day.